Okay, thank you. Mr. Mahan, Chair of the Finance and Budget Committee, has called a meeting to discuss Ordinance 2026-04 on the bond notes. Mr. Mahan.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, before we get ready to turn this over to Tanner and our guest, but we will be amending this this evening. There are in your agenda, you can see that there were several sections, or section 15 was crossed out, and then there's a new section 15 and several additional sections. So we will be amending this evening, even though we're only giving it its second reading this evening. So when we get to next week in the third reading, it'll be clean. So I just wanted council you to be aware and ready for that. And having said that, we're going to turn this over to Mr. Sawyers and friends to talk about the police station itself this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mahan. Yes, we will be discussing Ordinance 2026-4, which is the bond ordinance for the amount not to exceed $29 million. As you're familiar, we've passed, previous council passed a reimbursement resolution of $25 million, and our team with our owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, with our design firm, BKV, and with our CMAR, our construction manager, that's Cornica Cozing, or CK. And now I will apologize to council and to the public. There are so many acronyms in this process that it's borderline abuse, but nevertheless, you'll hear a lot. You'll hear even more tonight. We have worked internally on cost estimating and bringing down the scope of this project into that targeted $25 million figure. And we're going to hear from tonight from our owner's representatives from our owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, someone with what can only be described as the greatest name in human history, Cigarette Parks, and we call her Sig, and Tegan Lehman, an associate of hers with Pizzuti, and they're going to kind of walk us through the process in which we got to that that design process. And remember that $2 million of that came from with the work of Senator Andrew Brenner, came from that one-time strategic fund from the state, and that was essentially leftover ARPA money that the state reallocated through different means. But we've been working to hit that target, and I'm going to turn it over to Sig and Tegan and let them kind of explain that design process from schematic design to design documents to conceptual design, construction documents, and let them explain how we got there, and then open it up really to any questions, and just remind everybody that really the most important figure is that GMP, or that guaranteed maximum price. They're going to keep coming at you with these acronyms. That guaranteed maximum price, and the most important number will be the number that comes back on bid day. So I'll let, without stealing all of her thunder, yes. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you. As Tanner said, I'm Cigarette Parks. I'm a vice president with Pizzuti Solutions Group. Solutions is the consulting branch of Pizzuti, and we focus the majority of our efforts on publicly funded projects, serving primarily in the capacity as owner's representative, basically to make sure that the owner's team gets what they envisioned and paid for their projects, right, as an expansion of our owner's staff. So it's a true privilege to be associated with the Mount Vernon Police Department new facility, the police station, and the team has been working beautifully together. Mount Vernon staff, highly collaborative, BKV, our design team, and CK, our construction manager at risk, who is, as a part of their contract, obligated to provide continuous estimating at DD and CD, which they have done, and then, or DDs at least, we're working towards CDs, and then they will develop the bid packages and facilitate the process for bid and procurement, which, as Tanner indicated, will culminate in a guaranteed maximum pricing, that's the GMP, which essentially represents the cost of your project on bid day. Estimates are incredibly useful and valuable metrics that guide the design process and allow us to stay within scope, expand scope, reduce scope if necessary, but ultimately the cost of your project is what it costs on bid day, and that's the point that we're trying to get to. The project right now, we're most of the way through construction documents. Those are the documents that will get submitted for our building permit. Right now, the facility is at around 36,858 square feet. Programmatically, it is inclusive of everything that would be required for a fully functional police station on day one. There is some capacity in there to shell out certain spaces that maybe wouldn't get activated initially, and we've also provided for some expansion capabilities in the event that we have to add on to the building in the future. So that's just good design and planning to future-proof your facility. Taking you back a little bit, again, we're at DDs or CDs. The first part of our process was schematic design, which we completed successfully, worked our way through DD. About that time, we onboarded our construction manager, again, who's CK, and they started their estimating. They gave us a snapshot at 50% DDs and a full estimate at 100% DDs. BKV was given written approval at that time to advance into construction drawings, construction documents, because at DDs, the program was trending within budget. So they were given written approval to do that. We advanced into CDs where we are now. As of the end of last week, we were right at about 75% on our construction documents. So we expect 100% CDs within the next few weeks. At that time, the process that has been repeated previously, the owner's team will receive BKV's construction document submittal, which is the full set of drawings, full specifications, and we will begin our review of those drawings. Typically, that takes about 2 weeks. At that same time, CK will begin their estimate. If there's any corrections or revisions or adjustments that need to be made to the drawings, those comments get returned to the design team so they can either respond to them or comply. They have the option to respond. And then CK will submit their estimate. At that time, if we're still trending within budget, we would make the recommendation for Mount Vernon to accept those drawings and allow the project to go into permitting. If we are over budget or there are concerns about certain scope items that, maybe because of different economic factors or material shortages, we want to address those, maybe scale them back. We would go through what's called a value management exercise, and at that point, we would talk about various strategies for reducing that cost, whether it is deferring work to a future point, shelling out a space, that is to say, giving a space that what we refer to as a vanilla box, so it's built, there's just nothing in it, reducing or eliminating scope entirely, or changing materials, and then having CK provide updates to those estimates to the point where Mount Vernon, as the project owner, feels comfortable accepting the design team deliverable, the construction manager deliverable, and we have a project. That's the point that we're trying to get to in the next couple of weeks. It's a very standard process. It makes no difference whether you're doing general contracting, CM agency, CM at risk, the process is all the same. And what it does is it safeguards the owner to make sure that they don't have any big surprises at each phase of design. After that, CK will need a couple of weeks then to develop their bid and scope documents, and then they will take this project to the market, and they'll bid it out competitively. When I say competitively, what we're looking for is ideally at least 3 responses for each bid package or scope, And then the subcontractors will be selected based on best and most responsive. Most responsive in terms of complete scope, their pricing is complete, their staffing plan is complete, they've identified any long lead items, they can meet Mount Vernon's quality contracting requirements in terms of how qualified and trained their workforce is. They have the bonding capacity, everything that's necessary to make sure that your project goes from vision to design to implementation to completion. And that's the point we're trying to get to. Right now, at 75% CDs, the project without any value management was estimated at just over 29 million. The project team worked for about almost 3 weeks to identify value management items that would materially reduce the cost of the project without reducing the scope or functionality of the building, and has it down to just over 26 million at almost 100% CDs. So depending on what the CD estimate comes in at, we do have a few more tricks up our sleeves that we would, as a project team, develop a consolidated recommendation to give to Mount Vernon as the project owner in terms of what they would be willing to consider, socialize it with the police department, make sure that it addresses their operational requirements, again, making sure that you have a fully functional facility on day one, and then we would either be given the go-ahead to advance to permitting or go back to the design table and see if we can further reduce scope or materials or sequencing to get it back within budget. But for a project of this size and complexity, at CDs that were this close to the original stated budget represents an awful lot of hard work by the project team. And I think everybody should feel pretty good about where we are now. And it's a beautiful building. It will really make a statement in terms of a critical public service for the residents of Mount Vernon.
Excellent. Ma'am, question, you said the value management has it just over 26 million. I understand that's an estimate at this point.
Right.
And you said that was a fully functional building, so that includes furnishings, finishing, open the door at
Yes.
26 million and change.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Questions, council? Okay, we're actually, again, this is the second reading. We're going to amend it as is in your packet. If not, I don't want to keep. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I'm excited about this, council. Our officers have been waiting for this, and I think it's going to be a good thing. So
Have you seen any drawings yet?
I only saw very early drawings, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So,
Okay, we will now adjourn the finance and budget meeting. And we now move to, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Ms. Keener, Chair of Employee and Community Relations, has a meeting to discuss Ordinance 5 on a personnel position. Ms. Keener.
Thank you. We've had a few pieces coming forward over the last few weeks, kind of filling in some of the roles that we had budgeted for last year, and I had sat down with our safety service director at the beginning of this year and kind of mapped out some of the directions that we'd be going, and this is one of the roles that he felt it was time to kind of introduce and talk about, and so I will let him talk about what this role is, where it's going to fall, and how we're going to fund it.
Thank you, council. So this, really the culmination of this position, this community development and public information officer position, comes from a meeting that we attended probably a little over a year ago, where Jason Duff with Small Nation, maybe some of you are familiar with the work that has gone on in Bell Fountain, was talking directly to cities of comparable size. It was actually a meeting geared towards cities about our size. And he basically said, if you do not have, he mentioned two things, two communities our size. He says, if you do not have a communication director and you do not have an economic development director, you're going to get left behind. Well, we don't have either one of those. Now, as say, we do a lot of work with the Area Development Foundation, and they do big, bold things, and we appreciate the work that they do. And they go after what I would call big fish, Becker mining, you know, things that people are moving to Mount Vernon to work in. We have had the conversation of a communications director in the past, but how that would work out and how that would flesh out, and we kind of left that on the cutting room floor here. So the mayor and I discussed how we could reintroduce both of those things. And we looked at the skill sets that an individual would have, and we looked at the partnerships that currently exist in the city, and we thought there is a world in which this position could be a combined position. So allow me to explain where we're going with this. A community development director is not necessarily an economic development director. Hiring an economic development director, you're talking, you pay director level wages. I don't think, one, we necessarily have that need as the ADF. Experience Mount Vernon and the chamber as they are looking for a new chamber director. I think they can fill that void. However, we often find that the city is lacks somebody, shall I say, appropriate at the table. This person would be that appropriate person at the table. Let me give you an example. We recently hired Retail Strategies to be the voice for the city. This is a 3-year contract with Retail Strategies. At the end of the 3-year contract with Retail Strategies also provides what they call a retail academy. Other communities outside of Columbus are contracting with Retail Strategies simply for the retail academy piece. That way, their economic development team knows how to speak the retail language, right? Knows how to get in the boardroom and talk retail. Who at the city of Mount, this is more rhetorical, but who at the city should know how to do that? Is it me? Is it the mayor? The law director? The city engineer? Is it somebody on council? I would argue pros and cons for all of those things, but ultimately you could make the equal and opposite case that we have conflicts of interest. Unless you designate somebody specifically as a community development person whose job it is to seek out the development of our city, as most cities do. The other piece of this, of community development, is grant management, large gifts and donor recognition, and of course that economic development piece that is specific for, as I say, area development goes after the big fish, goes after the small piece that we often hear people complain the most about, is that quality of life stuff. Is we have too many, you've heard the same stuff that I've heard. You've heard we have too many lube shops and car washes. Okay, yeah, but who's supposed to go out and recruit, the retail, the restaurants, the home goods stores? Who is that? Who's that supposed to be? Because if it's the mayor that does it, well then he's getting kickbacks from Burger King. I've never still received any of those Burger King kickback checks. Yeah, wouldn't you know it, it's the Starbright Car Wash. Anyway, if it's somebody on council, it's the same problem. But if you have somebody who is trained to pursue those things, then you have somebody that can do this. And I think that is something that the community has made abundantly clear that that's something that they're interested in seeing. Then on the other side of this position, you have a public information officer. Different per se than a communications director in that there is a specific tone that this person is setting. This person should be telling the story of the city. This person should also be trained in emergency, in telling the emergent story of the city, right? So if something bad happens, this person should know how to communicate with emergency management agencies, should know how to communicate with our public safety team, should know how to stay in their lane when it comes to public service deployment. So it's more than just simply, writing press releases and doing social media. However, that social media component is a critical piece of that too. And knowing how to reach audiences where they are today is a critical piece of delivering, and Cheryl's gonna roll her eyes when I say this, effective services that are efficient and responsible and responsive. Did she do it? I
No,
didn't
but she's
even look.
laughing.
Okay, all right. So,
Hard.
yeah, okay. But that's a critical piece to that. So there are people specially trained to be public information officers. What we are finding in best practices across the city is, thankfully, especially in communities our size, you don't have crises every day. So in that gap of time, when there's not a fire to put out, with crisis communication, you're seeing communities our size train individuals on community development, in training them on economic development. That way they're doing that piece too. And then when their, crisis communication is needed, they hit the brakes on that. The grant applications can wait. And then they tap into their other skills, their primary skills, and start telling the emergent story of the city. Allow me to channel former Congresswoman, I just promoted her, former Councilwoman Woods, and how will we pay for this? So right now, you have a position that I believe is at a third reading, and that is the Executive Administrator for Public Utilities and Code Enforcement. The benefit of shifting that into public utilities is that it can be paid for through utilities primarily. That frees up a lot of funds from the general fund. Defunding primarily, if you look at your budget sheet, defunding a large portion of the administrative assistant of safety service. You would refund, or fully fund, I should say, fully fund the safety service administrative assistant position with money that would be moved likely from a fund or a line account from the 3600 line. And then part of this individual's job is to, good. You're making a face.
I am making a face.
Okay. You would then move money from the 3600 line to fully fund that position for the remainder of the year. Remember, it's March. By the time this is completed, you're looking at probably the end of April before this is even official. And then you would evaluate this person by whether or not they can bring in those funds. And all of those funds would be coming to, the general fund.
So I think you touched on one piece in here, the large gift management. We've had quite a few of those while I've been on council, like the Statue of Liberty that's now out at the CANC. And I think that the work of coordinating around those types of gifts has been very challenging for council members and for administration. I think that this is valuable for that. I don't see, our large gifts just disappearing overnight. I think they're gonna keep coming in, and so that's a really big piece of this that I think can be helpful. I am only gonna give this its second reading, and if council has any questions, I would ask you to email me, email Mr. Salyers, and if you can email them so that we can have the answer at the next meeting, so that we don't ask the question at the next meeting. It just gives more time to prepare, because there's nuances for like where those dollar amounts are coming from. I think that that's important, but let's give time to find the answers. And that's really all I have, unless there's questions tonight.
I guess, so I'm just always asking, do we really need this? And I hear your reasons, but I also think about so many other things we have to pay for. And is there anybody within who could do some of this right now? And if the answer is no, then there isn't. But, I mean, these are public's dollars, the public's dollars, correct? And so how are we making sure that we're using every dollar very wisely and prudently and all that? So, I don't know, I just have a couple questions. I'll get a hold of Ms. Keener about that, but I just want to make sure we don't have somebody that can already do this, and just to create another position and take money from other funds to fund this. I mean, that always scares me, because then if we run short in those lines at some point in the year down the road, then now we've pulled money out of there. So I just got some general question marks in my head at the moment. I think a second reading's good, while we can talk this out a little bit more, so. Okay.
And if there's no other questions, we'll give us an early break.
All right, we will now adjourn the Employee and Community Relations Committee meeting. This ends the committee meetings for this evening. I would say if there are any residents who wish to speak on matters of city concern at the break, which we're gonna have here in a minute, there are forms at the podium there to fill out and make sure that those get to Mr. Sherman. And other than that, we will now recess until the legislative session begins at 7:30, which is about 20 minutes. Thank you. 7:30, and it's now time to bring the legislative portion of the March 9th, 2026 City Council meeting to order. Mr. Sherman, please
Ms.
call the
Hager.
roll.
Mrs. Hager.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Keener.
Here.
Mr. Mahan.
Here.
Mr. Jacklin.
Here.
Mr. Reckman.
Here.
Mr. Severance.
Here. Thank you, everybody's here. We do not have to excuse Mr. Hawkins, and he is happily enjoying Hawaii. I think he's actually going to watch this, so maybe he's doing it on the beach. Who knows? We'll wait and let him tell us about that later. So tonight, the invocation will be given by Pastor Andy Beatty of the Central Christian Church. So we will rise for the invocation, and then we will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you this evening. We recognize how powerful and mighty you are. Lord, we also want to thank you for the beautiful sunshine and warmth that we had today. Lord, I thank you for the city of Mount Vernon, for the unique and diverse way that you have made this city, for the people of Mount Vernon, for the opportunity that we have to serve in this area. Lord, I also thank you for the freedoms that we have and those who protect and those who have fought to protect those freedoms. Lord, I would lift up each and every one of these city council leaders and those who work and serve in the city in various capacities. And I just ask that you would grant them wisdom, that you would grant them patience. Please give them clarity and discernment. Please fill them with humility and courage to stand up for what's right. Lord, please grant them the ability to be united, even if there is disagreement. I ask that you grant them that ability to be united through that. Lord, please encourage and support their ability to live lives full of integrity, both in the public eye and in their private lives. Lord, we ask for blessing for this community, for the families that make up Mount Vernon and the surrounding areas with young kids and retired couples and everything in between. Lord, we ask your blessing upon them and the businesses and the schools and the churches and the first responders and the nonprofits that make up this beautiful city. We ask for your blessing to be upon those who are struggling, whether it's financially or physically or emotionally or socially. We just ask for your presence to be noticed, both here in this room, to be with these leaders, but also just to be noticed in this community as a whole. Lord, I would pray for your presence tonight during this meeting, that it is noted that with patience and fairness and truly just a genuine desire for the common good for this community. Lord, I pray that you continue to make Mount Vernon truly a place marked by love and peace and patience and justice, and continue to make it an amazing place to live. We ask this in the powerful name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you again, Pastor. Council, you received, all of us, actually I did myself, received their packet with the minutes from the February 23rd session. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Second has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. They're passed. Mr. Sherman, are there any petitions or communications to read?
No.
There are none. Good. Council, we also got our committee reports. We received those from Mr. Sherman. Make sure you sign those and return those this evening as well. Are there any proclamations, Mr. Sherman?
No.
There are none. All right. I see we don't have any liquor control licenses this evening. And I did not receive any information about persons speaking on matters of city concern, so. We will now move to the legislation before us. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda that we have? Okay, hearing none, I will assume that that is approved all by consensus. So we'll move to the first resolution tonight, which is Resolution 2026-17. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids and award a qualification-based selection for design services related to the South End Pedestrian Safety Improvements Project Phase 1, KNO 122162, SRTS, State Route 586, PID 2411301.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman. Actually, this is mine, so I would move to amend Resolution 2026-17.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mahan. So the amendment would be that we are restating this. Mr. Sherman, would you go ahead and read the correct version of this amendment?
And we're just changing the title. The operative language in the resolution doesn't change. We're just affixing the title.
Correct. Removing the section that says a qualification-based selection for design services related to, and replacing with the text construction contract for, the total reading a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids and award a construction contract for the South End Pedestrian Safety Improvement Project Phase 1, KNO 122162, SRTS, State Route 586, PID 2411301.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the amendment, council? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severance.
Yes. The amendment passes. I now move to adopt the amended resolution 2026-17.
Second.
Any discussion, council? This is a project that we're trying to really move quickly on the south end over by the schools. I think we've seen a lot of progress already in the last year, and I think this is going to be the next piece to move this forward. So, anything else? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severance.
Yes. The adoption, the adopted is adopted, excuse me, couldn't get that out of there. All right, we don't have any for second reading tonight, but we do have 5 resolutions for first reading. The first resolution is 2026-24, Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing and directing the Safety Service Director of the City of Mount Vernon, Ohio, to acquire by any means authorized by RC 735.05 equipment for the Public Works Department and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes, sir. I move to suspend the rule requiring 3 separate readings, take resolution number 2026-24 to its third and final reading.
Second. Are there any questions on suspension of the rules?
Could you just state why?
This is an equipment purchase for Public Works, and Tanner, I'm assuming we want this piece of equipment before summer rolls around.
Yeah, so just to, I mean, we can do this now, or we can do this, you know, we can keep talking about it if you'd like. But this was part of the budgeted equipment purchases. The only reason that, you know, we purchase equipment all the time, but the reason that council is seeing this particular piece of legislation is because it is above the direct purchase threshold, which right now is about 79,000 and some change. So that's why there's a certain threshold before I can just sign a contract.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Fast
Mr. Sherman?
can I
Okay,
ask
go
a
ahead,
quick
yeah.
que- How fast can we get this piece of equipment? Like if we pass it, like how quickly do we get this? Do we know?
Really depends
It's
on the
not like a
vendor.
fire
It-
truck where we're waiting a really long time.
Right, and this kind of comes back to the whole suspension of the rules and emergency clause. If we wait, you know, 3 readings and 30 days, then we're even that much further out, whereas we could just do this now. It's not a very contentious thing, and
Understood.
get the piece of equipment.
What is the piece of equipment?
So it is
T
I mean, I hate to
six,
vote on
T4
suspending the
above
rules
for
has
something
I don't know
compact
what it is.
Well, I
track-
mean,
track loader.
it's in there. Well, we, just so we're clear, we are out of parliamentary procedure.
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
this
we're
point.
voting
We're voting to
suspension of the
suspend the
rules.
Okay.
rules. Yes.
Okay.
I'll ask that question later.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
ask it in 30 seconds,
Yeah.
sir.
Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The rules suspended.
Let me guess.
Mahan.
You would like to know.
Well,
Oh,
wait.
You got it.
Can I, if you permit me to move to adopt resolution number 2026-24?
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded.
And,
Mr. Mahan.
Mr. Sawyers, I would like to point out, this is by any means authorized,
By law, yeah.
not
so-
authorized by law, not by any means
Yeah,
possible.
not any means necessary.
Just
so-
want to make sure we
He's
all
gonna go steal
understand.
it.
I left my Batman suit at home. So, all right, yeah, my favorite ones. To Mr. or Councilman Miller's point, this is a Bobcat compact track loader, so it will be used in various, specifically being purchased by the Public Works Department. It will mostly be used in the Streets Department. We've had a multitude of complaints about, we had a particularly brutal winter, and there will be a lot of uses, has different attachments that we'll be purchasing or already have. So the Streets Department will get the most use out of this. However, this will be purchased 50/50. 50% of the purchase price will come from already budgeted equipment monies. The other 50% will come from stormwater funds, because you'll see a lot of stormwater repairs be utilized with this piece of equipment. So curb and gutter and different stormwater related work. So between Public Works and Engineering, it'll be a shared piece of equipment. Yeah.
Any other discussion? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The resolution is adopted. We now move to resolution 2026-25. Mr.
Thank you,
Sherman.
sir.
Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to dispose of vehicles in the Public Works Department not needed for public use by the City of Mount Vernon and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. I move to suspend the rule requiring 3 separate readings. Take resolution 2026-25 to its 3rd and final reading.
Second. Any questions on suspending the rule here? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The rule is suspended. Mr. Mahan.
I move to adopt resolution 2026-25.
Second. It's been moved and adopted, or it's been moved and seconded. Are there any discussion on this? Do we have anything we need to know about this, Mr. Mahan?
This is one of our favorite things to do, is
Yes.
sell old equipment.
Well,
Anything special about?
not so fast. So typically, when you see this structure of legislation, we are selling used vehicles from the impound lot to the police department. This is actually for the Public Works Department. They'll be trading in 2 lawnmowers, essentially. And because that trade-in value is in excess of $1,000, that's why this is triggering this legislation. So they have already evaluated these 2 pieces of equipment. They'll trade them in and get 2 more pieces of equipment. So,
Do we know what the normal number of hours for these 2 particulars is normal? Because I have a little John
someone-
Deere as well, and
yeah.
I have a little meter that tells me how many
Yeah.
hours that thing has ran.
someone in that department does,
Would tell you.
yeah.
But as far as we know, these are kind of worn out and they need to be updated.
I don't know that it's necessarily worn out, but not, not for the standards of care for our team, so, yeah.
Okay.
So they're gonna trade,
The cemetery also works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, yeah, they're gonna trade these in, and they'll get new vehicles or new lawnmowers here, and, utilize those out there at the cemetery.
Any other questions?
Yeah, what's the process for trading this in versus like, when the city does other things like that, we'll take bids and we'll try to get our best price. I guess my concern is, how do we know we're getting the best deal on this trade-in?
So, you know, the trade-in value on these compared to, you know, we're going to a vendor that we utilize routinely versus taking them to, you know, an older piece of equipment and putting it on gov deals. We traditionally get, you know, a fraction of the cost, but most of the time, if we have an older piece of equipment and we are putting it on gov deals, we anticipate we get a very small.
We would get less than $1,000 per, based on our history.
And
we're
at that
getting-
point, we have, shall we say, gotten the use out of the piece of equipment. So,
And the company we're trading it in with is giving us more than $1,000 for each of them.
I was gonna say, I can speak to this as someone who has lost business over the years. So traditionally, like from a historic perspective, you would take old equipment, you would take it to an auctioneer, they would sell it off, but that was after the equipment was used up. A lot of government entities, townships, municipalities have moved to leasing so that they can trade it in and they can keep newer equipment, and then typically there's care that goes along with that. So in the long run, it typically saves them money because you're leasing, you have newer equipment and have less upkeep overall.
Good. All right, Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The resolution is adopted. We now move to resolution 2026-26. Mr. Sherman?
A resolution of the Mount Vernon City Council expressing its support and formally requesting consideration for community project funding in the fall 27 federal appropriations process in the amount of $5 million to support enhancements to the Mount Vernon wastewater treatment facility, supporting regional infrastructure improvements, economic growth, and environmental protection.
Mr. Ruckman?
Yes, thank you. I move to suspend the rules and take resolution number 2026-26 to its third and final reading.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Any questions? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The resolution is suspended. Mr. Ruckman?
Yes, thank you. So we're gonna, I guess, go through, well, we should probably move to adopt first, shouldn't we?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's move to adopt resolution number 2026-26.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Any questions on this, or what do we need to hear about this?
No, this is just, we're under a timeline for this, so we had gotten a couple of questions around this. This is not actually the first time we have applied for this. So, Mr. Sawyers, do you have anything you would like to add as far as context is concerned with this?
Yes, so, last time we were actually in the pipeline to receive, and I'm gonna put him on the spot here, I guess. Representative Balderson has been has worked very diligently on this with us, and we appreciate all the work that he's done, and I'll even give a pass to Senator Moreno's office, who said, make sure to include us on the next round of this, because they are willing to help. And we're also trying to communicate with Senator Husted's office on this as well. So this is community project funding. It has had some other dirty names in the past, such as earmarks or like that. But essentially, the city of Mount Vernon's wastewater, or what we've called MVATE, which is the Mount Vernon Anaerobic Treatment Enhancements. We always like to slap an acronym on things, right? We were in the process, or we were in the pipeline, we'd like to intend our puns around here. We were in the pipeline to receive $5 million in the One Big Beautiful Bill, but because of appropriations fights in DC, other community projects were backlogged, and we were the first round out. So other people were in, essentially, long story short, other people were in line before us, they got funded before us, and we had to take a back seat. but we hopped back in, and Congressman Balderson said, make sure to resubmit. And so we are going to resubmit with updated design documents, because remember, we a lot of times focus solely on the police station, the court, and the municipal center, but Arcadis and Kokosing Industrial has been working very diligently on designed the same process through CMAR with the wastewater treatment plant. So you're looking at about close to a $50 million project on that side of things. Now, that's an enterprise funded project, so that's not, think ratepayers, not taxpayers when it comes to that. So it's a different set of financing. However, we are going to ask for this community funded project in the same way that we ask the state for capital funding. It's essentially the same thing at the federal government. It's a little bit more tedious, but unlike the local government and unlike the state government, they've got a printing press, so and a military to back it up, right? So hey, we're going to ask for $5 million. What's the worst they can do? Tell us no? They already did. We'll do it again. We are particularly annoying, am I right? Hey, so we'll drive down and we'll drive down and ask for it in person. So this will go. This is essentially, council, what this is a resolution in support of this request. This will go to Representative Balderson. His request deadline is this week. Senator Husted's is tonight and tomorrow, and Senator Moreno's is at the end of the month. Yeah, so, and different departments, so the allocations are based on the department that you're making the request. We have a little bit of wiggle room because ours is within the EPA. So, but your support on this is basically just a green light that you support them giving us $5 million. You may say it's all tax dollars. Well, we'd like to bring some of those federal tax dollars back to Mount Vernon.
Sounds good to me.
So the suspension of the rules allows us to get in on time.
The suspension of the rules, so there is no emergency clause on this. This is for, so you'll see the FY '27. This is for fiscal year 2027. They're not even going to act on it in the next, well beyond 30 days. So as long as it passes tonight, it can be, it's a letter that's going to be attached to a submission. So.
Just to reiterate, because in case somebody looks at this and sees 5 million, this is 5 million grant money.
We are
coming
not
from the federal
spending, you are not approving the spending of $5 million. We are asking for them as they are listing projects, and you're talking about nationwide, right?
Yeah, it's just, we're passing it,
When you're doling out that
with emergency,
cash,
it has 5
think of
million
us.
labeled in it.
Sure.
I think we'd like, I just like to put it out there.
This is a potential
Plain.
$5 million savings.
Should be great.
Now, here's a question that you might ask. Why not 10? Why not 50? Hey, because each district, same way with the state capital budget, each district is allocated a maximum amount. And each project is guaranteed, or not guaranteed, each project is basically capped out at a maximum amount. This is the maximum limit. So we're going big or going home. They may send us a box of butter cookies and say, thank you for your submission, in which case, we'll let you know.
Do we get to have the butter cookies?
So Councilman Miller asked a legitimate question, not the butter cookie question, which is, would it be possible that they give us less than 5 million? Absolutely. They may give us 1 million, 2 million, 500,000, in which case we'll say, thanks, we'll be back in 2 years,
Great. All right, Mr. Sherman.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Ms. Keener.
Yes.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin.
Yes.
Mr. Reckman.
Yes.
Mr. Sevens.
Yes. The resolution is adopted. We now move to resolution 2026-27. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing and directing the auditor of the city of Mount Vernon to pay bills pursuant to section 5705.41D, then and now certification.
Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. I move to suspend the rule requiring 3 separate readings, take resolution 2026-27 to its third and final reading.
Second. Any questions on the suspension? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The rule is suspended. Mr. Mahan?
Thank you, sir. I move to adopt resolution 2026-27.
Second.
Mr. Brinkman, we're going to pay some bills.
Yes.
Yes,
Help us
sir.
out with this process.
So, all right, we have a number of them here. First is to Terracon Consultants. This was the ground testing thing that the engineering had organized for, I believe, this property and the Gay Street property, the Plaza Building, where they tested through the ground, see what was in it.
It was
or-
also at the police station.
Yeah.
Site at the police station.
And ordinarily, these are carry forward purchase orders, so usually this wouldn't be then and now, but after talking to the auditor of state, they said those aren't really a thing. We've been operating under them for years. So now they are. Imagine that. So the second one is to Civica, that's through my office. Should add the purchase order in place, but it was budgeted for. Third one, you actually approved last council meeting, but there was another bill under the bill that was also then and now, so to the same vendor. So there it is again. Target Solutions is an HR vendor. I believe this was a contract that was in place by the previous HR director, and kind of was from early last year. Then the invoice was in, I think, from July of last year. Then there's Vantilberg, which is for the pool, with postcards for the Hiawatha Water Park. And then finally, for the Treasurer of State, for OPWC loans, which is Ohio Public Works Commission, loans for a number of projects. So, any
Questions for Mr. Brinkman?
Yeah, Mr. Brinkman, you mentioned a bill, an HR from the Target Solutions that was from last year. I'm assuming we determined those services were delivered. Okay, so we're.
Yeah, the current HR director had sent it along to us, so I
Okay.
assume it's legitimate. And, yeah.
Excellent.
Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The resolution is adopted. We now move to resolution 2026-28. Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. I move to suspend the rule requiring 3 separate readings. Take resolution 2026-28 to its third and final reading.
Second. The rules have been, there's been a motion to suspend the rules. Any questions on the suspension of the rules? Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The rule suspended. Mr. Mahan?
I move to adopt resolution 2026-28.
Second. So it's been moved and seconded to adopt. Mr. Mahan?
Okay, Mr. Brinkman again. So this is, I believe this is for the Route 13 project.
Yes.
Is that correct? And these are grants that have been approved.
Approved, but the way ODOT does a lot of their stuff is we have to pay it first, and then we get the reimbursement.
Okay.
So it's
We're
for a large,
creating space in this line
yeah,
to pay for that.
yes, exactly. So,
And council, this is on a promissory system, and I won't overcomplicate this if you don't need to, but I had the engineer, this is a significant amount of money, and this is not even the entirety of this project. This goes all the way back to resolution 2022-95, and I've got it all laid out to the sum total of about $6,485,000. You've got about, 3 track grants and ODOT grants. I mean, I have the information here available both right now and available to you, should you just want to have it available. It's a significant amount of money that we talked about during the budget season, saying that, you know, we're gonna, in the 405 right now, there's only about, what, $1.5 million appropriated. We knew that coming into it, as this opened up, that we would have to appropriate more, but we just wanted to do it on a tighter timeline. If we only budgeted, you know, and this was the conversation that Mr. Mahan and Mr. Brinkman and I had, if we only budgeted for the supplemental appropriations as we typically do as the checks came in, and not on a more permissory system, you would delay this project years. So I think the way that Mr. Mahan
Then we're
explained it
waiting
is,
for each ODOT reimbursement,
Yeah.
which could take a month, could take longer than a month.
yeah, it could take
You don't know.
multiple months
Right.
per instance.
But the key thing is these are funds that have been promised to
Yeah,
us.
these are, and these are, you know, we have the signed contracts from ODOT. This is part of their master transportation plan, so this is not like something that that we've applied for and are just appropriating in the hopes that we get it, right?
Yeah.
Like this is already a designed project that we're ready to put the shovel in the ground to. We just need that space to start spending, and then it will be reimbursed as it is expended. So the second part of this is, we just need to show the expenditure happening, and ODOT will take care of the second part. I just want you to feel comfortable doing, I mean, this is a significant amount of money, and I don't want you to feel like we're just walking in here being like, yeah, appropriate $3 million and don't have questions. We have the information here, we have the resolutions, and we have the breakout of all the acquisition grants and whatnot that ODOT has provided, so.
And we've already gotten about $500,000 of this back already. So that goes into this figure.
The second, I think, to the tune of about $700,000, yeah.
Yes.
And then we have another, probably about another $500,000 that we will ask you to then supplementally appropriate from HUD. That will be a part of the demolition phase as well, so.
Councilman Severns has been on multiple meetings with ODOT, with the city engineer, so this is a process going back years.
I was reminded of something like this today when I drove over the viaduct to go up Gay Street along with 3 semis that would not be going that way when this project is done. I actually thought about that, because then they go up to Chestnut Street and turn left, and eventually they're not going to be doing that, and I think that's going to be a good thing. So anyway,
I would encourage anybody who doesn't think that this is a good idea to look at the traffic accident data and project like how much safer the navigating of downtown will be.
good.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Sherman.
Mrs. Hager,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Keener,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes.
Mr. Jacqueline,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The resolution is adopted. We now move to ordinances. So tonight we have 1 ordinance for 3rd reading, 2 for 2nd reading, and 2 for a 1st reading tonight. The first ordinance is for a 3rd reading is ordinance 2026-03. Mr. Sherman.
An ordinance establishing compensation, benefits, and terms of employment for the executive administrator for public utilities and code enforcement, and declaring an emergency.
Ms. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Long name. I move to adopt ordinance 2026-3.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion to adopt and a second. Any discussion, any questions? Ms. Keener.
So this particular position was discussed during budget season, and I think it is one that we had planned to fill. Mr. Salyers had talked about this at a previous committee meeting, but would you mind just giving us a 60-second
Yeah.
rundown?
Yep. This will be a administrative position for both public utilities and code enforcement. It will lighten the load on the general fund. It will be primarily supported from the utility, the enterprise funds for both water and wastewater. A portion of the funding will still come from the general fund, as will be required because it is also assisting code enforcement. How's my time?
You did great. It was
And
like
this
30
person will
seconds.
be housed down at 236, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So this is a position that I think most of us have ridden around with Mr. Zimmerman and Brian, and just seeing the work that they're doing. And it is one that was already budgeted, so I would just encourage a support of this.
Good. Any other questions?
I would also state too that it seems like as more and more gets put on the code enforcement and everything, I think this position's going to become more and more necessary as time goes along. So I think it's best to get it filled now.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Ms. Keener.
Yes.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin.
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The ordinance is adopted. We now move to ordinance 2026-04. Mr. Mahan?
Thank you, sir. I'm going to move to amend ordinance 2026-04.
I will second that.
Okay,
Mr.
council, in your packets, this ordinance has been already amended. But what we're doing is, we're gonna, if, at your pleasure, if we approve these amendments, then a clean version of this will come to its third reading. We will not be suspending the rules this evening. This will go, we'll be giving it its second reading tonight. It will go to its third reading in 2 weeks. So what I'm doing now is, we're removing section 15 OMAP, and then there's a new section 15, et cetera. So that is all we're doing this evening.
Our section 6, oh, never mind, I see what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, there's an additional set of sections.
And so, I don't remember us doing this on a second reading, but I mean, we're okay to do this tonight, right? Amend it, okay?
Yes, a piece of legislation may be amended at any time before it is passed.
Good. Okay. Any questions, council, on the amendment? Basically, it looks like we have removed a full section.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Sherman?
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Ms. Keener.
Yes.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin.
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes. The ordinance is amended. We now move to ordinance
Well-
20.
Well-
Oh,
Pardon?
are you now,
Yep. I'll now give this its second
Second
reading.
reading, okay,
As amended. It will go to its third reading in 2 weeks.
great. All right, we'll move that to the second reading. Now I move to ordinance 2026-05. Mr. Sherman?
An ordinance establishing compensation, benefits, and terms of employment for the Community Development / Public Information Officer and declaring an emergency.
Ms. Keener?
Thank you. I'm going to give ordinance number 2026-05 its second reading, and could I have a 10-minute committee meeting at the next meeting?
Okay. Ordinance 5 receives its second reading. We now move to ordinances for first reading. The first one is ordinance 2026-06. Mr. Ruckman?
Yes, I'd like to give it its first reading, please.
Okay, ordinance 6 receives its first reading. We now move to ordinance 2026-07. Ms. Keener?
Thank you. I'm going to give ordinance 2026-7 its first reading.
Okay, ordinance 7 receives its first reading as well. That is the end of the legislative portion
do a
of the
committee
meeting
meeting on
tonight.
Uh,
Pardon me?
Could I ask for a committee
A
meeting with
I
that?
was gonna say, I didn't know if you needed a meeting.
5? 5? Are you
Yeah,
speaking?
5.
Is 5 ever enough?
Then
Are you
5.
speaking?
No, he's not. We'll be good with 5.
Party
then.
hard.
Really, 3 maybe.
5-minute meeting, okay.
it's
I
pretty
really
simple.
Yeah.
pulled that one out, sorry about that. All right, that ends the legislative portion of the meeting. We now move to remarks from the administration. Mayor Starr.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Thank you very much for that, council. I sent you an update. I don't have anything new to add to that, and I just want to say it was nice to see so many people from the city represented at the Chamber of Commerce event on Friday. Thank you all for coming out and honoring these wonderful businesses and individuals who really do help make commerce happen and contribute to the lifeblood of this community. So congratulations to the nominees and the winners there, and yeah, well done, everybody. Thank you, that's it.
Good, thank you. Mr. Salyers?
Nothing further, Mr. President Pro Tem.
All right. Mr. Stoller?
Nothing further, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Mr. Brinkman?
Nothing tonight, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Mr. Broring?
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. You didn't finish it, just.
Hey, you broke the spell.
Mr. Miller tonight.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Mr. Ruckman?
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Jackman?
Nothing.
All right. Ms. Keener?
I would just like to say thank you to administration and to Mr. Severns for their work in that school pedestrian safety area. That is such good work. I know that we've done a lot of work around the school up at Dan Emmett, and this is another just pain point in the city, and walkability and pedestrian safety is something that I have cared about since I got on council, and I think that you guys have done an excellent job of keeping this kind of front of mind and actually getting it done. And it's good to see when government actually responds to citizens who bring forward issues. And so I just congratulate you on that hard work. So thank you for staying on this. And that's all.
Thanks, Ms. Keener. Mr. Mahan?
I want to add my thanks for the sidewalk safety, also to Quentin in engineering, who had a significant role in that. And congratulations, Mr. President Pro Tem. It looks like we survived this meeting. Well done.
We're just about done. Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mahan. Ms. Hager?
Nothing this evening, Mr. President Pro Tem.
All right. I want to thank everybody for their patience with me this evening. This was a fine gathering of people tonight. I knew Mr. Salyers would enjoy that. Thank you to the media. Cheryl, it's always good to see you. I would call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
And this is what I've been wanting to do. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Don't you do it at the beginning of the meeting?